Shape keys, how do they work and how do you do them? Let's find out on a Brisk Byte. So today we're gonna make this thing talk and make his eyes move a little bit. And actually it's gonna be pretty simple. And this model is available. It'll be linked down in the description, or you can access the story on thehollow.org. So first thing first is we're gonna talk about shape keys. So how do we make them work? Well, if you're working with this character or your own character, it's pretty basic. Make sure you're in object mode, and over here in the object data properties, just see shape keys here. You may have to click it, hit the little plus, and there you go. Now you have a basis. So any changes you make to this, it's not gonna do anything. So don't do that. What you need to do is go back to object mode and hit the plus symbol, and you'll see a key one made, and you can call it whatever you want. What we're gonna do now, with that created, we go ahead into edit mode, and make sure that's selected too. By the way, you'll see why. I'll show you why soon. So now we're going to turn on proportional editing, and that could be on the top here, but for here, it's down here for now. So what we're gonna do is grab this top lip and move it down. And we're gonna do the same this bottom. We're gonna move that up, and we're just gonna kind of move all of them in place. We're not gonna make this perfect today because this is a tutorial. I want to show you all how it works. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so I went back to object mode and it went back to normal. Why? Well, it's because the value is set to 0. You can actually just bump that value up, and there you go. Now it kind of looks like he's like smiling, looks a little funny. With his value, you can actually keyframe it too. So we'll just go down this little list of stuff here. So let's make a keyframe right here. So we'll just hit this, say animate property, just hit that, and boom, now it can be keyframed. And then we'll turn on auto keyframe too, so it animates it itself. So now we'll go over here to frame 50, bump that up to 1, and since we have auto keyframe on, and make a keyframe there. And so now it's animated. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty simple. So about range minimum and the range and the max range. Well, let's say you don't want that to go all the way down to 0. Basically, it just stops it. So maybe you want it to go. That's minimum is -10. So yeah, you can do something like that. You can completely break it if you want. You can give them a really wide mouth like that. Like that's pretty good. So maybe you want that to be the new minimum because that actually looks pretty funny. So now that's as low as that number will go, because it actually looks pretty good. And it's to go up to minimum of 1. You can change the max too. So knock that up to, till it still looks normal if you want. So yeah, just 1.2. So you can actually still just stay at 1 because nothing crazy is going on there. Now we can watch it animated. But we'll go ahead and make another one. And this next one is called Looking Up. This is a pretty simple one. And for this one, I'll show you vertex groups. So if looking up, let's select his 2 eyes here, and let's make a new vertex group, and we'll assign it to that. So we'll call this one eyes. And we'll move around his body and everything too, just to really show off this. And now we'll go to his eyes. We'll turn proportional editing. You don't need that on anymore. That one will look up. Yeah, his eyes are gonna be a little broken right now. Don't worry too much about that. It's no big deal. And now we're gonna go back to object mode, and we're going to see what it looks like. Yeah, so that looks a little freaky. But we can change the vertex group just to eyes. And now we change, so now only his eyes are affected. And so now we can animate the looking up. So make sure you turn the animating on, and we'll go over here. You can look up. And if you want to get a better look at what's actually going on to each, you can hit this little arrow here, and you can look at the shape keys and see the changes happening to each one. That way you don't just see one diamond, you can see all the keyframes. So now we actually want to get his wings to flap. So we already made a shape key. So we will just hit L I actually have his wing selected with this seam here. I have it separated. So we are just selecting the seam, what's separated. Now we can just rotate that. You don't need proportional editing on. And we can just put that back in somewhat place. Actually, if you want to move this one a little better, we can just select, go to the cursor, put that there. Oh, put that there. And then we will actually rotate it, the transform pivot point, from a 3D cursor. And then we'll select it. And there we go. That one does look a little better than that one, but it's okay. He can flap his broken wings. Now let's see what it looks like. But you can make all kinds of different shaped mouse. I actually have this on the wing value, but you can mix your mouse together too. You can get some fun little things like that. So this has been a quick introduction to shape keys. Shape keys aren't great for everything. Sometimes you may just want to use a rig, or else you'll get real weird results with the wings there, and with the eyes, how like the eyes are actually changing shape. Eyes don't do that. So maybe you just want to rig up your eyes, or rig up your wings and your arms and everything. But for mouse, they work pretty well, and you can mix them together too to get some fun little results like that. So there we go. So I'm Adrian, and this has been a Brisk Byte. Holler at you later.